we are about to break down the 3 possible scenarios for this week's eviction. If you have not been following the feeds, if you have not been watching the feeds, you don't know what's going on right now, don't watch this. We're about to spoil all of it.
Spoiler alert!
So it's going to come out before the episode drops. You're probably not going to have a heads up what happened on the episode. So again, if you have not seen the episode, if you're not watching the feeds,
Spoiler alert!
the blockbuster by far is going to be the most exciting part of week 4 once we get to Thursday's episode. We have 3 current nominees that have all proven themselves to be able to win competitions when it comes down to it. Kelly, besides winning the mystery veto, already proven herself to be our current season blockbuster champion. Rylie has won an HOH, technically, but he did win it. And Jimmy has already won a Night 1 comp as well as an HOH already. How do we think this is actually going to shake out? And who do we think is going to win the blockbuster? And who do we think is going to go home Thursday night? The blockbuster this week really is anyone's bet. We already discussed each of our 3 nominees have all proven themselves to be able to win competitions. But there really isn't a lot of room for speculation on who the actual winner of the blockbuster could be at this point. We honestly just don't have enough metadata on the blockbuster competitions themselves to be able to predict what we see the outcome of the competitions being. Based on this season's blockbuster competition so far, based on last season's AI arena competitions, and just based on the competitions we've had from the past 2 seasons, we have seen Big Brother start to move a little bit further away from the physically targeted competitions and started to show them give all the players a little bit more of an equal playing field. With these blockbuster competitions, they are a timed comp. They're locked in, and they're usually some sort of memory or mental competition, unless it's some type of physical puzzle that they have to assemble real fast that we only really saw last season, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get again very, very soon. We already talked about Kelly is our current blockbuster champion, but I would not be surprised, just based on how competitions have gone in past seasons, I would not be surprised if we finally see her dethroned this week by either Jimmy or Rylie. I do think that the likelihood of this blockbuster competition is going to be a 60-40 shot, and I think Jimmy is in favor of the 60, Kelly's in favor of the 40. Rylie and Jimmy, to me, in this competition are interchangeable. I think Kelly has a slight upper hand because she is a little bit more used to these pressure cooker type of competitions where she's got to go and just really commit really fast. I do think she's going to have a little bit of that upper hand, having that experience playing these blockbuster comps a couple of times compared to the other players. But again, I think Jimmy and Rylie are both very big physical competition threats, very big, maybe Jimmy a little more so, mental competition threats. And I think this week we could really see Kelly be given a run for her money. Okay. Let's talk about, regardless of who wins, the likely outcomes of these 3 different scenarios we could get this week, and who do we actually think is going to go home Thursday night. If Kelly wins a blockbuster, we're going to be looking at a Jimmy versus Rylie final 2 nomination block for this week. Now, as an audience member, love him or hate him, Rylie is very loved in the house. If we see Rylie up against either Jimmy or Kelly, the most likely scenario is that Rylie stays. Again, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Jimmy versus Kelly scenario in just a moment, but right now, Rylie is perceived to be the most honest, most genuine, most friendly person in the house, let alone on the block right now. So if Rylie is one of the final 2 nominations, it's really hard for me to imagine that he's going to get any votes against him at all, let alone any sympathy votes for the person he's up against. If we see Jimmy versus Rylie on the block Thursday night, do not be surprised if Jimmy goes home by a landslide. Now, if Rylie wins the blockbuster and we see a Jimmy versus Kelly final 2 on that Kelly final 2 scenario come Thursday night, that's a little bit more of a tricky scenario. But honestly, don't count your chickens before they hatch, because while both Jimmy and Kelly have a bad reputation in the house right now for being distrustworthy and playing both sides, this is basically a prime opportunity for the rest of the house to take out what they perceive to be the head of the season, the mastermind behind everything that's going on. Despite the fact that he's an ally in Mickey's corner, and despite the fact that he's not the one doing it, that Vince is the one everyone's just letting control the house. Oh my gosh. Okay. We still have to talk about the last scenario, which is, what if Jimmy does end up being the one that wins the blockbuster, and we see a Rylie versus Kelly final two nomination scenario on Thursday night? Like we already talked about, if it comes down to Rylie, he's got the votes. And whether he's going up against Jimmy, whether he's going up against Kelly, it's very unlikely that he's going to have any votes cast against him. Time will tell. A lot of things can change in the Big Brother house between now and then, in just a couple of days. But I wouldn't be very surprised if we see either Kelly or Jimmy go home and Rylie is a locked-in guaranteed vote to stay next week. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Again, the most interesting part of Thursday night's episode to me is absolutely going to be the blockbuster. See who wins, see how that unfolds, and see if Kelly is able to maintain her champion status currently this season, or if she's going to get dethroned. We'll see. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, hit the like button. It definitely does help me out. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to stick around and see our full Week 4 recap that's coming in just a few days, hit the subscribe button. We will be back talking about everything you missed, both on the show and the feeds. Until next time, guys, I'm Doug. I'm done with this chat.